Name's George Lude. I live here in Mason. I'm retired. I retired twice from 2 different occupations. I joined the Army right outside of high school. I was 17 years and 10 months, and Mom and Dad had to sign for me to go in. And I joined the Army in July 1955. I went to basic training in Fort Leonard, Missouri. They call it Fort Lost in the Woods, Missouri. little name to it. Fort Leonard Wood in the summer is very hot and dry. And, it's like basic training there. It was tough for a lot of the guys. Before I enlisted, I had a letter that as long as I fulfilled my part of joining and my aptitude, I could take this course at Fort Belvoir, Virginia, and construction drafting. It was a 14 weeks course, 5 days a week, 8 to 5, and during my school, I enjoyed it. I got around the D.C. area and got to know the area and a lot of our history of our country, and went to all the museums and things like that on my weekends off. After graduating from school, I went to my first duty assignment was to Fort Gordon, Georgia, and which at that time had 3 different parts of the Army based there. It was number 1 was the MP Training Center for the entire Army, including all the criminal investigation department and all the other police matters. They had the Signal Corps had a training center there, and also there was a large, it was like a minor prison. It's called disciplinary barracks, where they put you, if you get sentenced to more than a break, you go to DBs, and anything above the DBs was Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. That was the maximum Army security prison. After graduating, I went to Fort Gordon. I had one day, less than a day, to do a little research about it, and I found out what I just told you about Fort Gordon. I went to Fort Gordon, and they assigned me to the training aids department. And I thought, wow, you know, what am I going to be doing there? Making drawings and stuff. Well, my duties there would be a sign painter. Back in that era, before computers, there was no, all the signs were painted by hand. You'd line it off and paint it by hand. There was nothing done on a computer. Computers weren't even around in the mid-50s. I trained for that for like 3 days, and I was assigned to the headquarters company of the Military Police Training Center. And I wasn't making much headway in painting signs. It's an art form. It's not a craft. It's not a vocation. It's an art, and I just couldn't do it. Assigned to our military police headquarters company was the Military Police Training Center band, and the band did a lot of work. A couple times a week, they graduated soldiers from the military police school. It's the second 8-week advanced training. It was very fast. I auditioned, and immediately the sergeant went right to the orderly room, and they ordered me that I was no longer a sign painter in the training aids. I was assigned to their band. So I fulfilled my part of the obligation. As I went through the school, I wanted to learn something that I could bring with me coming out, and it just didn't happen. So I spent 30 months in the Army band, and I played primarily tuba, sousaphone, and which is the one that's wrapped around you. And the tuba is a big one you hold between your legs. I played that in concert band in high school. called a concert tuba. Has better sound to it. And also my last 7 or 8 weeks, they knew that I committed to get out of the Army, and our drum major of the band was went to some advanced school, and so they had my replacement ready. So I was a drum major for the last 8 weeks. I was in Fort Gordon. This may not sound too much about what some of the veterans here that have been auditioned or talk about their service record. Excuse me. But well, I had, once I got out, I had to serve 5 years in, it's called a ready reserve. You had to be ready to report in 30 days or less. You had to maintain your uniforms and go to order, and your equipment go to order.
Do you have any specific memorable stories that you remember?
Well, one the story, I met Ike Eisenhower. We played over at Bushfield when Ike would come in, and he would have sometimes foreign dignitaries would meet him. Augusta National was Ike's sort of his summer White House, so to speak. But he would fly in, and back then there were no jets. He would have a Constellation, four-engine prop plane, Constellation, and I think it was they named it Columbine, and so he would meet somebody from one of the foreign countries, and they would come out and inspect. They'd have a MP battalion there, 504th MP battalion, and they were mechanized. They had their spit shine jeeps and boots and the whole 9 yards. And our band played also for the arrival. My future brother-in-law got drafted, and he's 3 years older than me, and he went to college, and he was a school teacher, and he got drafted. So the year I got out, I was getting out in the summer, and he got drafted. He served 2 years in Germany, and I'd already been in and out, but he had to leave the high school which I graduated from, and enlist, or he had to go in the Army. He served in Germany, and matter of fact, I guess everybody knows Elvis Presley, Hound Dog and Blue Suede Shoes. He was assigned to my brother-in-law's tank company, but I don't think Elvis was ever in a tank. He didn't. He was Elvis, so he was over there for entertainment purposes primarily. But he served his time.